feeling about this. Not that Paimon's scared or anything, just, concerned for your safety. It's just that this is how lots of scary stories go. You're in an empty place, in the middle of nowhere, there's barely any light, and then just when you least expect it, a stranger comes out of...
Oh.
Quick, do something! Paimon's intuition says that anyone we run into here is going to be far from normal. If he gets us, he's gonna eat Paimon for sure.
Who are you? Beyond the heavens? A strange way of putting it. Don't try to scare me. I'm just here for a funeral. I don't mean to offend. No matter who you are, there's no need for any ill will between us.
Whew. Seems he's just your average scaredy cat. He looks more afraid than Paimon. Huh? I'm not! Paimon's super friendly looking. Don't be afraid. We come in peace.
Gods protect me!
No! Stop freaking out and stand still. Relax.
Relax. Yes, whatever you say. Please stay your hand. Don't come any closer. I mean you no harm. Don't touch me.
Hey! Paimon already said nothing's gonna happen.
Director, there's a ghost after me.
Oh? Don't get too excited. These are clients, not ghosts.
Exactly! We said we're not ghosts. Why won't you calm down and let us explain? Although, clients doesn't seem quite right either.
Yeah, forgive me. This is one of our new undertakers, Mung. It's his first time working a funeral, so of course he's afraid of his own shadow.
Funeral. Oh! The Wangsheng Funeral Parlor! Zhongli is a consultant there. They deal with this stuff a lot, right?
Oh, you know Zhongli? Well, that saves me a lot of explaining. I'm Hu Tao, the current director of the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor, responsible for, well, trifling matters having to do with immortality. A satisfying trade to be in, though, and Wangsheng Funeral Parlor is well known around town. Whatever the request, I'd be glad to hear it.
Yeah, if we were looking for Wangsheng Funeral Parlor's help, this is hardly the place we would come to.
Ah, but you see, I wasn't referring to clients in the business sense. Everyone who enters this mortal realm will be a client of mine. Sooner or later.
Well, that's dark.
Wangsheng Funeral Parlor welcomes advanced reservations. When you choose us, you'll never have to worry about what might be around the corner. But be sure to book the right date. Pro tip, it is a living nightmare trying to get flowers at short notice. Speaking of dates, if you're struggling to decide, please do come and talk it over. I'd hate to see you still alive and kicking when your big day comes.
Whoa! Slow down! That's... There's a lot to unpack here.
You'll have to excuse her. The director is a rather unique individual. Allow me to explain. We'd heard that there'd been some supernatural activity at Wuwang Hill. To restore calm here, we performed a funeral ceremony. It went very smoothly. According to the director, we shouldn't be expecting any more issues in the near future.
Wangsheng Funeral Parlor, Wuwang Hill, funeral. What more is there to say? These three belong in the same sentence. You two, on the other hand, have no business coming to Wuwang Hill. You being here is not normal.
Maybe your understanding of normal isn't quite normal.
Adventure? You must hail from the Adventurers Guild. Then you are one of our distinguished clients. Would, to be precise.
Would? What do you mean?
That's just how we gauge our clients' importance. We have 4 levels: wicker, bamboo, wood, and marble. The higher the grade, the better we'd like to get to know you.
But I've just only heard of this.
Well, that's because I only just thought of it. Oh, don't look so shocked. Oh, take a look. Our adventurers spend the whole day scaling mountains, clearing domains, and smiting enemies. Danger and peril are their bread and butter. Clients like these deserve better treatment. Taking an interest in their daily lives will ultimately benefit not only them, but also me. Oh, touched a nerve, did I? I'd have thought any adventurers who dare come here would be used to conversations like this. Anyway, I have a favor to ask. Recently, Wangsheng Funeral Parlor has been trying to strike a business deal with the Adventurers Guild. With you acting as an intermediary, it would be so much easier. Let me think what I could offer you as a reward. Or perhaps there's a favor I could do in return?
Ah, we're looking for someone. We've asked a lot of people, but nobody seems to have a clue where they are.
This seems like something right up my alley. I can even inquire with the ones who no longer speak for you. You see? Helping me will be worth your while. Come on then, my able assistants. Let's get down to Liyue Harbor and do some business.
When did we become your assistants?
You again. Look, I told you, we're not interested in the kind of cooperation you describe.
Come on, there's no reason to get upset. Look, one of your members is an avid supporter of my proposition. Oh, since our last negotiation, I've come up with a new proposal, which I think you'll find has far more benefits for you. First things first, Wangsheng Funeral Parlor will prioritize the Adventurers Guild requests above all others. You'll also receive 100 of our signature wooden coffins for free, together with your first order. That's not all. We also provide an on-site cadaver collection service covering almost all regions in Liyue. Now, we do charge a slight premium for a very small number of especially dangerous areas, but don't you worry about that. I promise you, it's still very affordable.
I don't think you're hearing me.
Okay, all right. I get it. You want to bargain a little more, but our offer as it stands is already quite a good deal, don't you think? Just think about it. An adventurer's life is full of unexpected threats. It's only natural to take precautions. Mend the roof before it rains, as they say.
Yeah, no. I'm not so sure that saying applies in this context. Speaking of precautions, I'd rather focus on keeping my adventurers safe in the first place. It's time for you to go. I have to attend to other matters.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, what would you say to a group discount? 30% off for parties of 10?
Director, please, you did your best. We don't need another clash with the Millilith.
If Paimon understood all that correctly, it seems like she's trying to sell them the funeral parlor services.
Yeah, nothing left to do here. Let's go back to Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Seems like the old ways are the most reliable after all. Mung, are you done preparing our promotional materials?
My apologies. I'm only about halfway through. Do you really think they will be effective?
Trust me, they're going to work wonders. This marketing strategy has been used by Wangsheng Funeral Parlor for generations. Clients in need come to our door and write down their commissions on blank wooden tiles. Then they squeeze those inside the parlor through the crack under the door. I fulfill the request written on each tile to make sure our clients are satisfied with the service, no matter if it's an obituary, cremation, or funeral that they seek. Although, it is a bit of a hassle with the constant back and forth. If only we could burn them by the batch.
No, Director, I'm not asking about the wooden tiles themselves, but about the special offer they advertise.
Wangsheng Funeral Parlor should keep up with the times. Just think about it. If we don't attract new clients, we'll be left with nothing, won't we? Business development is a crucial element of every prosperous enterprise. I've been trying various marketing strategies ever since I became the director. I put up posters just like all the other shops, but the Millilith promptly removed them. Then I organized the Wangsheng Visitors Day, but no one showed up.
Well, that doesn't come as a huge surprise.
And finally, I discovered that the traditional ways are the most reliable after all. I took inspiration from the wisdom of previous directors. So now, I go from door to door looking for people and organizations willing to cooperate. Just like during our visit to the Adventurers Guild. That's what I mean by business development. The other method I'm trying is using the wooden tiles as coupons. Just by writing things like, buy one, get one free for the holder of this tile on them.
What do they buy and what do they get?
A solid and durable second home, of course. Well, they may not need it right away, but they can be sure that when they do, it will still be as good as new. It won't start deteriorating before you finish doing so yourself. That's the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor quality guarantee. All right, Mung, keep adding those special offers to the wooden tiles. The future of our business depends on it.
I'm still not sure this will work.
Oh, I get it. You think that our special offer is not comprehensive enough, right? It is true. I was offering all kinds of great benefits to the Adventurers Guild because they are a new client. But in doing so, I neglected my old clients. You're right. It's unfair. Let me do some market research. Wait here, my faithful assistants. I'll be back with you in a moment. It shouldn't take too long.
Paimon already told you we're not your assistants! Guess we got dragged into somebody else's business again. Let's look around while she's away.
Oh? I didn't think I would see you here.
Are these two your friends?
Yes. We had the fortune of meeting not too long ago. They are quite a knowledgeable and talented pair, and a pleasure to be around. Traveler, we were just discussing the history of Rex Lapis. Would you like to listen?
This, good sir, seems not to appreciate the almighty power of the Lord of Geo. As a professional archaeologist, I'm inclined to correct some of his erroneous views. We are discussing the whereabouts of the first Mora.
The first Mora?
As everyone knows, the Lord of Geo taught the ancient people of Liyue the craft of smelting, creating goods that allowed them to develop trade with the early nations of that time. Today, Liyue holds the sole right to cast Mora in the entire continent of Teyvat. The world's very first Mora should have been cast by the hands of the Lord of Geo himself thousands of years ago.
According to my research, as well as my own hypothesis, I believe that this coin of unique historical significance has been passed down secretly through the years as a kind of token. For example, perhaps the Qixing who control the Liyue use it in some kind of unknown ceremony they hold when they come to power.
No. My research indicates that the first Mora coin is not such a simple thing. Mora is a catalyst. This we all know. Even today, Mora is used in the mystic arts for its curious properties of weapon enhancement. The world's first Mora would no doubt possess the strongest power. My next historical treatise will boldly expound on the newest findings from my intense decade-long research. That is, that the Lord of Geo used this original Mora as a catalyst to enhance a dagger and a sword.
A dagger and a sword?
Well, buy the book when it comes out to read the full story. For now, I will only reveal this. The one who finds the dagger shall become supreme in Liyue, and the one who finds the sword may be crowned Liyue's sovereign.
I can't say I agree. Let us not speak of the authenticity of the dagger and sword first. But Mora and money came about simply because they are a convenient measure of a contract's value. Rex Lapis just meant for Mora to serve as a catalyst for people to exchange and trade. The world's first Mora is probably just an ordinary coin created by Rex Lapis. As for its fate, the same as all Mora, I suspect. It was simply spent somewhere.
I think that Mr. Hanshua's hypothesis seems reasonable. Mr. Zhongli's argument, on the other hand, lacks any evidence. How can you so easily dismiss the Lord of Geo's profound foresight?
No, I am not debating right or wrong. I am simply stating a fact.
Enough! Do you think you understand the Lord of Geo more than me?
I know but little about history, and I wouldn't dare to brag. But discussion is meaningless if everyone has the same opinion, no?
Well then, answer me this. Long ago, when Liyue Harbor was being constructed, the Lord of Geo taught the people how to build houses. The model home he used to teach them was completely cast from Mora, correct?
That is correct, indeed.
Okay, then tell me. Why would the Lord of Geo do something so extravagant, if not because of the mystical power that Mora contains?
There's a simple explanation, really. To the god of wealth and commerce, what material is easier to get than Mora? I mean, I am talking about Rex Lapis.
Excuse me, sir. I have some questions about archaeology. Can we find somewhere quiet to chat? I mean, if it's okay with you.
Oh, it's no problem at all. But may my friend accompany us? Perhaps they could be of some help.
Of course. They can come if that's what pleases you, sir. Let's go. What I'm about to say is a bit disrespectful of the Lord of Geo and would draw a lot of angry looks. So it's best to discuss this somewhere quiet. Your argument just now exhibited acuteness of speech and thought. Most importantly, you don't fall for the boasting and acting of the others. You remain objective. So I have a question for you. Perhaps you will answer differently from other scholars. Do you think that all the gods that the Geo Archon killed were evil?
Let's not analyze it in terms of good versus evil. Rex Lapis placed great importance on the integrity of contracts. So any gods he killed certainly must have broken some kind of contract.
Right! The Lord of Geo wouldn't kill the innocent.
But when I was doing some research, I learned about the legend of the god of salt. The god of salt, Havria, was a very kind god, but she encountered Morax one day in battle. Morax used a rather underhanded trick to assassinate her.
What? No way!
This bit of history is a long story. But you may not like the truth when you hear it.
Don't worry, please tell me what you know. This event, I've already searched for answers for a long time.
No, it's just... Where should I begin?
Over here! Mr. Zhongli! I've been looking for you! So you're over here all this time.
Put down your weapon and stay back. Otherwise, Paimon's reporting you to the Millilith.
First of all, I'm not holding a weapon. There's no need to overreact now. I'm simply an archaeological researcher from Snezhnaya. I'm not here for trouble.
The Fatui say that every time.
But this time, I registered with the Liyue Ministry of Civil Affairs. I could show you the official documentation if you want to see it. I will be conducting an archaeological survey here, the results of which will all be shared with the ministry. I heard that Wangsheng Funeral Parlor had a consultant named Zhang Li, with immense knowledge of ancient history and archaeology. So I paid Wangsheng Funeral Parlor a handsome amount to hire Zhang Li as my own consultant while I'm in town.
So you mean to say that this is work for the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor, yes? Well, since it's work, I don't have a choice. A consultant of the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor must respect their duty.
Of course you would be such a reasonable man. Well then, let's head out now, shall we?
Wait, if you are studying archaeology, can I go too? I am also a scholar in this field, so I can help.
That will give us a chance to continue the topic we were just discussing. Oh, and you should tag along too. This experience may be of help to you on your future adventures. It is a story from before the rise of the Seven. Although the god of salt has already perished, it will still be a meaningful experience for your journey.
Wait. This is an archaeological expedition, not a tour group. That's too many people.
But this friend of mine has a treasure-finding talent, surpassed by no one. It will surely be of great help to us.
Oh? What talent?
If my friend espies a treasure chest, they will absolutely find a way to open it.
Hey, Paimon's good at that too!
Well, that is quite enticing. All right, then. Well, let's go. There's no time to waste. When the Overlord of the Vortex was crushed by the Jade Chamber recently, perhaps something of interest was washed ashore. An ancient artifact would be good. Traces of ancient activity would be great. But a piece of the god's limb would be even better. Who knows what surprises we may find. This place looks so ordinary. Can we really find anything valuable here?
Huh? Paimon thinks it looks really grand.
I don't mean the scenery, but rather that there should be something out of the ordinary. A big battle did just occur and all, and I don't even know where to begin looking here.
Guyun Stone Forest is actually the perfect place to be, if you wish to learn about the gods or the history of the Archon War. Legend has it that Rex Lapis threw spears made of large rock into the sea here, piercing and crushing the Overlord of the Vortex. After many years of wind erosion, those stone spears have turned into the unique rock formations we see now.
These mountains were the Lord of Geo's weapons?
What we see now is just the part of them that remains. The stone spears hurled by Rex Lapis all those years ago were much greater, both in number and in size. But due to the different angles they landed at, their large centers of mass, erosion by seawater, and years of gravity, many of them have been completely swallowed by the sea. So besides wind erosion, the initial collapsing of the stone spears also played a big part in the formation of Guyun Stone Forest.
Well, a god able to fight one so powerful as Rex Lapis was certainly very strong in its own right.
Indeed. This is where the value lies in research at Guyun Stone Forest. Most of the objects from that time were lost to the sea. But the gigantic waves created by the Overlord of the Vortex have given those sunken objects a chance to see the light of day again.
So you're saying that if we look carefully, we'll be able to get very, very rich. I mean, rich with archaeological knowledge and historical value, yes? That's all I seek in life. Well, since we brought so many people, I think it would be best to split up and look.
Okay then. I will go with my friend here. Although I have a smattering of knowledge in various disciplines, when it comes to archaeology, I can't compete with the expert here.
Huh? Me?
What's the matter? This is your profession. Why are you so surprised?
I get it. I'll escort him then.
Okay. If we find anything valuable or rare, let's meet on the shore opposite from here.
You call yourself a scholar of archaeology? You can't even recognize this or that. What are you good for?
We all have our areas of expertise. I already tried very hard to explain.
Oh, stop arguing! What in the world happened?
This girl just keeps bragging about how she's an archaeologist, but she doesn't even know anything about the surrounding ruins. I even know more than her. She left me to rely solely on guessing, experience, to find anything valuable to take back. Ugh, what a waste of time.
I've just been researching the God of Salt, so I'm not familiar with sea relics. Is that so strange? And you kept asking about how much Mora everything is worth. Can the value of relics only be measured in Mora?
I mean, isn't measuring their value in Mora the easiest way? This also matches the traditions of Liyue, does it not?
Now, calm down. No need to make a fuss. We were able to bring back some intriguing objects. Let's have a look. Oh, what a shame. These objects were indeed washed ashore by the Overlord of the Vortex, but they have nothing to do with the god besides being in the vicinity at the time. This stone slab we found, however, has a mysterious pattern and faint aura of divine power. Perhaps it will be useful for research purposes.
Quick, give it to me. At least we didn't come for nothing. The power of the gods, yes! This is good. Oh, but these other objects are certainly worth a little something, right? It should be enough to cover the cost of hiring you. It's all mine.
So, it's only valuable for research if there are remnants of divine power on it?
Not at all. My quest to uncover the history of the God of Salt is because history can tell us about culture and beliefs. But you're just trying to use archaeology to get rich.
Nonsense! I'm a professional archaeology researcher from Snezhnaya. I swear. If I'm lying, may the Lord of Geo strike me down.
Oh, by the way, you probably don't want to sell that teacup.
Oh? Why's that?
That's not an ancient teacup. It's part of Ningguang's collection. It must have fallen here along with the Jade Chamber. So unless you want to mess with the Qixing...
Ah, I see. What a shame. It was of such high quality, too.
See? You do want to sell these objects!
But, so what? Why can't I pursue wealth both intellectual and material? Don't be so simple-minded. All right, then. No need to stay here any longer. I'm rather quite intrigued by the God of Salt, too, actually. Let's go to Saltarai next. I heard that Saltarai was once the home of the God of Salt's people. Therefore, there's sure to be loads of valuable relics nearby.
According to legend, the people of the God of Salt, Havria, enjoyed prosperous lives under her protection. But this legend has been around for ages. With the countless scrap collectors and treasure hoarders in the area, there probably aren't many valuable things left here.
Oh, good. That's just great. If I knew it was picked this clean before, I wouldn't have come.
About that, I know there's a ruin deep in this cave here. It's related to the God of Salt, which is actually how the area originally got its name of Saltarai. However, the ruin entrance has been sealed by a mysterious power. Nobody has been able to break the seal. I found a mechanism that seemed to be related to the seal, but when I undid the mechanism, the seal wasn't affected at all. So at the moment, the seal's origin and how to break it are very important topics in my research on the God of Salt. I don't know, there's no concrete evidence, but I'm pretty sure the seal is meant to hide some kind of long-forgotten truth. The God of Salt was a benevolent god, adored by the people, not to mention powerful. She wouldn't have any kind of shameful secrets to hide. So, the one who wants to hide some truth is very possibly her killer, Morax.
This doesn't sound like something the Lord of Geo would do, though.
Who cares about all that? It sounds like countless treasures of the God of Salt lie within this ruin, just waiting for someone to find them, right?
You weren't listening at all, were you? Even if there's a mountain of treasures inside, nobody can get in if the seal isn't broken.
Ah, but we have the illustrious Mr. Zhongli with us. He looks like he knows just about everything. A little seal shouldn't be any trouble for him.
This seal seems to be quite ancient. Even Mr. Zhongli may not know all of its secrets.
I may know something about it.
What?
Over the years, I've heard various rumors with bits of knowledge about seals. Although their references seem rather disorderly, they do in fact contain the secret to breaking seals. Let's go take a look at the mechanism Miss Wanyan just mentioned.
Okay, since Mr. Zhongli says so, follow me then. This place seems familiar. Huh, I remember. I think there's some elemental monuments here. So you're saying they're related to all this? When I investigated the seal last time, I had someone with a vision accompany me. But when we lit up all the elemental monuments, nothing happened.
That's because you don't just need to activate them at the same time, but in a certain order as well. Otherwise, the seal will not be broken. The secret to this puzzle is hidden in the legends about the Archon War. Tianheng in the south, Yaoguang in the east, Jueyun in the west, Qingce in the north. All desolate and devoid of life. Liyue is vast, yet even one haven is hard to find.
To the north, to the east. Do the people of Liyue always talk in riddles?
I think I've heard this saying before.
Certainly you have. And the contents of this saying are also related to the god of salt. To provide a haven for her people, whose lives had been ravaged by the Archon War, this benevolent god searched all across Liyue. At that time, with the chaotic fires of war engulfing the land, even one sliver of peace was a luxury. And that haven she eventually found is right here. Today, it is known as Sal Turai.
How sad then. In the end, this peaceful place was destroyed by Morax.
Okay, enough with these ancient stories. Now that we have the clue, hurry up and break the seal. Whatever happened doesn't matter as long as we can get inside that ruin.
Tianheng in the south, Yaoguang in the east, Jueyun in the west, Qingce in the north. With this clue, you should be able to solve the puzzle. Before entering the ruin, I have a proposal that will help us prevent the kind of senseless arguing between you two that we saw at Guyenstone Forest.
Okay. What is it?
I propose you two agree upon a contract, stipulating that we alternate who gets claim to each treasure we encounter, with only one object permitted per claim. To show my sincerity, I won't be taking any treasure. This will just be between you all.
Hey! Don't pass an opportunity like this up so easily!
I don't agree. I mean, you want me to split the treasure with this amateur archaeologist? No, absolutely not.
I don't agree either. He will only defile the precious relics left behind by the god of salt. I can't accept this.
Well then, if the contract is not agreed upon, I will no longer serve as your consultant on this expedition. You will have to rely on your own experience to find whatever treasures are hidden in this ruin, as well as traps.
You have the audacity to demand this. Okay then. Even half of the treasure in the long-sealed ruin of the God of Salt should be enough to make a fortune.
If you want me to agree upon this contract, so be it. I just have one request, Mr. Zhongli. If we discover the truth behind the God of Salt, you must judge it fairly, even if the truth harms Morax's image.
I can accept this arrangement. Well then, let's go.
Look at this! It's filled halfway with salt.
Oh, it just looks like a fancy salt holder. Seems like the God of Salt was a god lacking in treasures.
According to my knowledge, it's no ordinary vessel. Although it is only half full, it is also forever half full. That is to say, it is bottomless.
What? You're saying that even if I pour the salt out, the amount inside won't change?
Exactly.
Able to produce endless salt. The God of Salt is powerful indeed.
Finally, after all that effort, I've found precious treasure. I claim this as mine. I just need to pour the endless salt into 1,000 or 10,000 bags. I can sell it and make a fortune.
Hey, how can you use a relic of the God of Salt for such a shallow pursuit?
If Mr. Clement wants this salt chalice, then the next object we find will belong to Miss Wanyan, according to the contract agreed upon.
Of course, as we agreed. But how can anything be worth more than this rare find?
Since we have a contract, it's no use for me to fight with him.
Then let's move on, shall we?
Just a simple ruler. Doesn't look to be worth anything.
This, if I remember correctly, this is some kind of measuring tool.
Indeed. But the god of salt imbued it with another power. When you stick this ruler in the ground, the surrounding area will become covered in salt, much like a rising tide covers the earth. The deeper it is stuck in the ground, the more salt will appear. It is essentially a bumper harvest of salt.
What? That's even better than the salt chalice!
Well then, according to our contract, the salt ruler goes to Miss Wanyan.
No, unacceptable. I paid for and organized this entire expedition. Why should I get the short end of the stick? And this girl has been useless. Why would she get anything?
Oh boy, here we go again.
So you are saying you want to break the contract?
So what if I break it? Now that I've seen how the mechanisms in this ruin work, I no longer need you. Let's not forget who hired who here. Why should I let you make the rules?
Because you agreed to a contract. Rex Lapis once said, "Ones who break their contracts shall suffer the wrath of the rock."
That is one of your Liyue gods. I am from Snezhnaya. I
will suffer the wrath of the rock. You may find it rather unpleasant. I shall confiscate your treasure as well. You are not worthy to continue any further into the ruin. Leave this place.
Oh, darn you! Just you wait.
Some archaeological survey. He could only pretend for so long. Hey, Paimon likes Mora, but Paimon doesn't do bad things.
Clement's wrongdoing stemmed from greed, yes. But besides greed, there are many other things that may tempt us to break contracts. When people see the object of their dreams, how many are really able to control their desire and follow the contract? I think we should be honest with each other now.
Huh? Be honest about what?
That in truth, not a single member of this archaeological expedition came here for archaeology.
Why do you say that?
Miss, you lack even the most basic archaeological knowledge, and can recognize naught but a few simple relics. However, you are an expert when it comes to anything regarding the god of salt. You aren't interested in archaeology or relics. What you're really interested in is the god of salt. I believe those legends about the god of salt that you mentioned on the Pearl Galley are passed down between generations at Yinyuan Hall.
Okay, that's enough. Sir, you are indeed a man of great knowledge and talents. I seem to have been right to seek you out once I plucked up my courage. You're right. I'm not a scholar of archaeology. I come from one of the 8 trades under the jurisdiction of the Qixing, Yinyuan Hall of the salt industry. Our ancestors were those protected by the god of salt all those years ago, when the Archon War engulfed the land in chaos.
Oh, right! Now that you mention it, the people of Liyue very seldom use the name Morax.
During the war, Morax assassinated our god out of envy for her power. He left us alone and lost in the world. We hate him! But this is Morax's Liyue after all. And its history is written as he wishes. So I seek proof of Morax's guilt. He has blood on his hands and cruelty in his heart. We agreed to a contract that we will face the truth head on, didn't we, Mr. Zhongli? You must judge this history fairly.
Naturally, of course. But I must add, Liu is no longer Morax's Liu. Come with me. All the answers you seek lie ahead.
This is a sword? Aha! It's a broken sword! This is proof! This proves that the God of Salt had to fight back against the evil Morax. But sadly, she was defeated. The power of this sword surely is much greater than that of the Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler. If we can repair the sword, then we can show the world the mighty power of the God of Salt.
It does look like something left behind after being defeated in battle.
2 pieces of a broken sword. From an archaeological perspective, these are 2 separate relics. According to the contract, you can only claim one.
Why? We were alternating claims to treasure, true. But Clement is no longer here.
Yes, but the only one object per claim clause still holds true. You cannot take 2 relics at the same time.
This logic!
Zhongli, she seems like a good person, and no one is fighting over the treasure. How about you let this one slide, huh?
When there's a contract, nothing can be allowed to slide. If the contract is not followed, then it is broken.
No! If I only take 1/2, then it can't be repaired, and the power of the God of Salt cannot be restored. No matter what, I must be faithful to her. Even if it breaks the contract, I don't care.
So you are already decided? Then there is a price to pay for breaking the contract.
Zhongli!
That is to say, you consign yourself to suffer the wrath of the rock.
That's okay. The God of Salt gave up her life to protect her people. My sacrifice is nothing compared to that. Punish me however you want. Just let me take this proof of my faith.
No, you can't hit her!
Perhaps that punishment would be easier for her, but as punishment, I will tell you the truth.
Huh? The truth? You mean the truth is my punishment?
Yes. The truth that I am about to tell you shall be your price to pay for breaking the contract. I'm afraid to say that the God of Salt, Havria, was not the powerful god you imagine her to be. Rather, she was a small and weak god who yielded to all other gods. When it came to war, she lost, never able to win a seat among the 7.
What?
During the Archon War, the gods of this world used all their strength and cunning to vie for control of Tevat. But Havria instead chose to flee. She thought that by giving up before a fight could start, she could save herself and her people from the war. However, during such a long war, there is no end to the advances of aggressors. After making countless concessions, Havria lost all of her lands, until only one small haven remained.
No. No! It can't be so.
In her last days, she had not even a single blade to defend her people with.
Not even a single blade? Then, this sword...
This sword is not a relic belonging to the God of Salt, but is instead the murder weapon used to kill her.
Murder weapon? No! That's not true! That can't be true! You're trying to test my faith in the God of Salt.
As I said before, I only state the facts.
Preposterous! You are a follower of Morax! Don't try to trick me!
Hey! Come back!
Indeed. Otherwise, why would I use the truth as punishment? I did not want to tell her such cruel facts. But the contract was broken. Let's follow her deeper into the ruin. There, I fear, we will find something that will leave her no choice but to face the truth.
What are all these? What did they see? What did they do? What happened?
Since you do not trust me, let us continue onward. That which lies beyond this door will show you all that happened back then. This is the scene of the crime. Havria's body dissipated, leaving nothing but these traces of salt. Her dying moments have since been frozen in time to this very day. The story continues that some among her people realized at last that this gentle, kind, but weak god could never protect anyone in wartime. The Archon War was cruel in the extreme. Instead of consigning her to the agony of defeat, they thought perhaps it would be better to give her a quick release.
But what about these statue thingies?
No matter how weak the god, the power that flows forth when they are slain is beyond the strength of mortal coils to bear. Those who could not flee were thus transformed. Those of her people who were untouched by this disaster left for Liyue, where they sought refuge with Rex Lapis. Their descendants feared Havria's remnants and lived in terror that she had laid upon them an eternal curse. So they risked their lives to come here, to break the sword and offer up obeisances in hopes that her anger might be appeased. But they need not have done so. For how could a god who had never once resisted, even till the end, nurse hatred for her people in her heart?
Even if this is so, I can't! This must be a lie. A false history, all of it! Don't you dare try to shake my faith!
Yikes. Zhongli didn't show any mercy this time either.
This is the price she must pay. Yet I would not call it a bad thing. Judging by how she appeared, I fear that she will struggle for a time. But even if she may not escape that struggle immediately, simply recognizing the truth is good enough for now. No, indeed. How sharp of you. Yet this is not a matter of wisdom, only age. Faith in a god who has already passed will do you no good. So it is for Havria. And so it is for Morax also. All right then. Now, would you like to accompany me in taking a trip to Guyonstone Forest?
Huh? What do you want to do, Zhongli?
Treading old ground, telling old stories. One cannot help but be reminded of old acquaintances. Now, I mentioned before that many gods of old have been sealed beneath the Guyonstone Forest. The Adepti have presently handed Liyue over to mortals, and Havria's time was even further in the past. The Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler that she left behind should not return to Liyue. To leave them here is to let them slumber. And it is also a homecoming. I ended an era with my own two hands. I've always wondered how I should remember that which I ended. History records, but history may be changed. This incident proved that. Time is a mighty force, and history's twist in its flow. I need to find a better way of recording history in order to engrave its truth. Stone carvings were one such ancient method, but unchanging stone, immovable earth, even one such as myself. Someday we may all disappear.
Zhongli.
Therefore, I thought of you, traveler. You are one who crosses the celestial atlas, and who passes through countless worlds. If our history is engraved in your memory, it will one day accompany you into another world. As long as a traveler like you is able to record what happened, then a backup of sorts will exist for times and tides of Teyvat.
Sounds like tough work.
Now then, it is time that we consigned both the Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler to the sea.
Huh? Why do we need to throw them into the sea?
As I said before, this is the place to which the remnants of many bygone gods are consigned. This includes Osial, Overlord of the Vortex, who the Jade Chamber most recently returned to this ocean prison. Thousands of years ago, the Adepti and I fought against the turmoil that plagued every corner of this land. Guyan Stone Forest, where I sealed many gods with my spears. After so long, naught but folk tales remain. Osial, you and I were foes, but our ancient grudge is but a bygone memory now. May that which Havria has left behind be yours to subsume. And thus another spark of divinity departs from Liyue. My legacy shall now be left to those who come after to debate.
1,000 years after you sealed me underground, you return for the second time.
You should call it by its name, Ajdaha. Fate.
Fate? Fate? So here lies the wisdom of the gods. Destroy all deemed redundant. Enlist tyrants to ravage the wilderness.
No. You have forgotten.
That voice!
Ajdaha.
Huh? Kunjun?
Morax. It's been a while.
You're...
Ajdaha. The very same.
During the battle, you imbued us with your power.
Yes. It was all I could manage. Forgive me for concealing the truth, traveler. There were things that only became clear to me upon reaching this tree. Allow me to elaborate. I am not Ajdaha the whole, but a fragment. Heaven and earth, yin and yang, opposing forces. You can consider the existence of me and the Ajdaha you see there to be a reflection of such polarities. We are a schism of the will of Ajdaha.
So there are two Ashdahas?
No, it can't be. That's impossible.
When the seal loosened, your power manifested in this world as a child. With this new identity, you were able to vent about the forces that suppressed you. But would anyone listen? Would they even care? That's when it occurred to you. The loosening of the seal constituted an opportunity to strike back. Kidnapping the miners was all in aid of digging to the entrance to the seal itself. Your plan was to launch an attack on both ends, from outside and within, thereby fully destroying the seal.
The audacity! Are you insane? If you truly are a part of me, how is it you find yourself standing on the side of the betrayer?
I was another power awakened with the loosening of the seal. Too weak to reincarnate, but strong enough to possess a human body. I was barely conscious. I couldn't remember who I was. Only the past would elicit a reaction from me. But my aim was clear. Find Morax and aid him in stopping you.
I had sensed that something was amiss when you mentioned Dragonfall. Had your power been but a little stronger, I would have recognized you.
Don't blame yourself. I have changed beyond all recognition. Only when I touched the stone tablet did I truly remember. It's been so long. A secret beyond all comprehension of youthful humanity and ancient dragonkind. Morax, do you want to tell the tale?
There would be no harm in it. The decision is yours.
You haven't changed. Then allow me. Ajdaha was once a friend and ally of the Geo-Archon Morax, with a lifespan far exceeding that of mankind. However, that which is derived of the Earth is no more or less than the Earth itself. The memories of rocks do not last long. Those memories that survive are rooted in powerful emotion. But as time passes, so these memories fade into obscurity. Erosion is the world's greatest destroyer of memories. Erosion ground Ajdaha's consciousness into oblivion. Slowly, he forgot the face of his old friend, and his memories of defending Liyue Harbor disintegrated. Ajdaha, now incomplete, became irascible, aggressive.
What would you expect? It was humanity that attacked the ley lines that sustained me.
This much is true, which is why you attacked the chasm, why you waged war against Morax. In the beginning, in order to open up new territory and increase production, the citizens of Liyue came to the mountains to mine. Overexploitation caused the ley lines to quake, which brought untold suffering to us. Erosion made us even more savage. No matter how we struggled, we lost the ability to coexist with humanity. We lost all reason. Morax shared with us some of his power to prevent further erosion, but it was futile. Everything returns to dust. It is the natural order, an unstoppable force. And so, we became you. And from your will, I emerged. I am your final contract. Witness the promise between Ajdaha and Morax. You can hate me, but you cannot deny me.
No! No!
I am the remnants of Ajdaha's benevolence, the echo of a contract set in stone. I harbor a willingness to go further, a willingness to coexist peacefully with mankind.
No, no! It is I, Ajdaha, forged of elemental crystal, bearer of the weight and memories of the earth, older than the mountains and the oceans that decides. I will not swear allegiance to this insect.
Morax is not an insect.
A lord over insects is nothing but an insect in turn.
You forgot yourself. Nobody held Morax in higher regard than you or I. That which you have forgotten, I hold here in my heart. If you are the memory of the Earth, then I am the memory of coexistence. Of coexistence with humanity. All powers under heaven, rise and fall of land and sea.
A star appears within the wild. A sun ascends as bright as jade. Strange. What is this feeling? And all this?
You are spent, and I will soon disappear. Before I do, heed these words. In the wilderness, snow falls on a spring day. In an instant, it will melt. Even where it is fleeting and leaves no trace. Even where it will never fall again.
No! That isn't true! I don't accept this as fate!
Perhaps it isn't, but it remains an inevitable misfortune.
More axe!
The little girl vanished.
Are you satisfied, Ajdaha?
I had to make amends. Satisfaction had no part in it. So, Morax, you call yourself Zhongli these days?
I do.
Well, I'm afraid old habits die hard. To me, you're Morax.
As you please.
I never did forget your gift of sight.
I hardly lifted a finger. Think nothing of it.
And yet, you could see. You wouldn't know the yearning of a blind dragon, searching for the sun. A pair of eyes, from Morax to Ajdaha. This, I will remember this.
Your power is nearly spent.
Perceptive as always, my friend.
Shall we get going, you and I?
Surely the pressing matter is still that of the miners trapped outside the seal.
Indeed. Hence the need to get going. To fix the damage left in your wake.
Straight down to business as always. Let's go.
So there you are. My men and I found your clues and followed them straight here. We found Mao in a tent at the campsite unconscious. It seems he'll be okay. Sadly, we found no trace of the other three. Huh? Young Kun, what is...
Nothing. Pay it no mind. Those 3 miners are over there, in that cave.
Cave? What happened?
They're exhausted, but not in danger. Don't worry.
Right. Well, thank you, all of you. I better go and see how they're doing.
So you're taking them back to Liyue Harbor?
That's right.
Can I come with you?
No problem. You rescued my men. I'll be happy to assist all of you in any way I can. I'll be back soon. I need to assess their condition.
Kunjun, we should be calling you Ezdaha. You're coming back to Liyue Harbor too, right?
Not I. Merely this body. Once I'm gone, the true owner will accompany the miners back to Liyue. Kunjun hails from a family of famous artisans. He too will be famous in time. It would be a shame for someone of his talent to go missing.
You always did have a great admiration for blacksmiths.
Curious how swords and daggers are blind, yet their creators see so much. Perhaps empathy is mankind's proudest achievement after all.
Ezdaha, I am no longer the Geo Archon.
I can sense it.
Today I am just an ordinary citizen of Liyue.
Even you met such a fate. Let's get the difficult part out of the way. I cannot guarantee that I won't be awoken a second time.
No matter. If that day comes to pass, Liyue must prepare itself to face you.
And how will Liyue fare without Rex Lapis?
Even without a god above, this remains a nation of men. I was once their god. I ought to be here to witness their rise and fall.
All life is shaped and then ground away by the endless flow of time. You were always the strongest among us. Yet, it would seem that even you have been eroded. That's unimportant. Fate is ordained by heaven. Even if our mission had already concluded, it would be cowardly not to strike out on the road of departure. You may live forever, doomed to a lonely existence. Yet, even this is temporary. When you reach the end of time, those people, those past and future relationships predetermined by fate, they will be waiting for you.
I do not pretend to match your rhetoric when it comes to the subject of a life long lived. I fear that the life of an elemental being is longer than any in this world.
Were it not so, you would have killed me long ago, and would not be having to face me again now.
You've brought a smile to my face. When all is said and done, a reunion between old friends is an auspicious occasion.
That day in the chasm, did you hesitate?
A heart of stone is a heart nonetheless. But I am the god of contracts, and was for a time a god of the people of Liyue.
You chose justice, but did not forsake your kindness. You came to me not as an assassin, and so I was willingly sealed away.
The movements of the Earth Dragon can tremble the earth and shake the heavens. With your abilities, even at my full strength, I struggled to confront you, let alone seal you away.
Hence my inception. Do not forget that I was there with Liyue's founder. The face may have changed, but the content of the contract remains intact. Old friend. God of contracts. I hereby honor our agreement.
Thank you, Ishtaha.
My life is nigh on eternal. I will go on with the infinite flow of time. And you, Morax, you too will live for many a day to come.
You're leaving?
If it is fated, Morax, we will meet again.
Yes. Don't be alarmed. He's only asleep.
Whoa. That was so weird. It was like he suddenly became another person.
In fact, we have yet to meet the real Kunjun. He was. Centuries may have passed since then, but events from 1,000 years ago remain crystal clear in my mind.
In our last tale, Rex Lapis was walking alone in the mountains. He heard a remote voice, unlike any other, coming from a crack in the earth.
Most of the ancient geo-life forms that live below Liyue are blind, having not seen the sunlight for an age.
The voice was sometimes sad and song-like. Other times it was loud and thunderous. The Lord of Geo searched here and there before finally unearthing a strange stone from the bedrock.
That's how Ishtaha was. I answered his wish and took him above ground.
The Lord of Geo took pity on the rock spirit and carved it into a magnificent work of craftsmanship, a vivid representation of a dragon.
I bestowed him with a pair of eyes to see the world and came to an agreement with him.
With his fingers, he made 2 eyes. Quicker than words could tell, lightning flashed and thunder roared, and a living, breathing dragon soared into the clouds.
I agreed to let him live among the people above ground. But if the day ever came when he brought ruin to order, he would once again be sealed in the dark.
The dragon accompanied the Lord of Geo, fighting campaigns alongside him in the 4 corners of the world. We have a saying to eulogize these events. The crash of a spear brought billowing dust. The mountains and waters made way at the sound. The sight of a dragon bestowed with a touch the promise of rainwater blessing the ground.
A 1,000 years ago, Ishtaha attacked the chasm. I tried to obstruct him, fighting him tooth and nail down the length and breadth of the mine. Finally, I brought him down and sealed him underground. During that battle, Dragonfall was born. Ishtaha could sense the stone. Subconsciously, he wanted to use it to find me. Despite being the victor, I could not claim to be stronger than he, and in his heart, he still retained an ounce of goodwill towards me, towards Liyue, towards life above ground. He was willing to be sealed away, but as the erosion set in, he forgot. Even I cannot avoid it, but there is something I understand better than most. When the door opens, it is time to leave. The greater the power, the greater the danger erosion may bring about. The millennia may come and go, but even a stone may tire. Personally sealing away an old friend. This is just one form of erosion I have endured. People abandon and surrender the things they love to pursue the right path. Perhaps this is the erosion imposed on me by the heavenly principles. That I was a god of mankind. My identity may change, but my eyes will bear witness to the history of humanity.
You still care a lot about Liyue.
Call it part of my duty. I must thank you both.
No worries.
Oh? About what?
Oh yeah, Paimon nearly forgot. So, not long ago, we met a guy called Dane. He told us about Conria and the punishment of the gods. That's when we realized that those events were connected to the person we're searching for. Zhongli, you're a god. You've lived through thousands of years of history. Surely you experienced the incident?
I cannot say.
Why? You can't even give us a thread of information? This is so important to us.
I understand. But I must apologize. This is my contract.
You mean another past grievance? Like the incident with Ejda? Too painful to talk about?
It was signed before it all began. I have always honored the contract. And kept my silence.
How can you be like that?
You two are friends to me. I can assure it brings me no pleasure to disappoint you. But as the god of contracts, I cannot go back on my word.
Would you be ready to find out?
It appears your understanding of this world continues to grow. There are many events of ages past, many secrets that lie hidden. They have been eroded by time, forgotten by the people, abandoned. But you are capable of finding them and bringing them into the light. Those who come to witness will witness. Those who are born to remember will remember. If you take the same road as that person, there may be more difficulties ahead. But as long as you firmly believe that you are on the right path, everything has meaning.
Can't be helped, I'm afraid. This is the biggest and sturdiest boat that I can provide. It's built from the finest Inazuman timber. Still, I'll be the first to admit that if he's planning to ride this into the storm, it's going to be exceedingly dangerous.
I'm also hoping Sakajiro won't have to use it. It's just there as a last resort. I gotta say though, Koichi, it feels like your craft has improved once again.
I'm not the one you should be praising. It's all thanks to the guys who kindly pitched in. To avoid detection, we each worked on our own materials separately, then assembled them secretly in the night. This is the largest we could afford to build. Any bigger and there's no way it would pass the Tenryou Commission's inspection.
Let's store the boat here for now then. I'll fill Sakajiro in when I get back. He'll need to make some preparations before setting sail.
Uh-oh. Paimon feels really worried all of a sudden. Doesn't helping Sakajiro make you a collaborator in the eyes of the Tenryou Commission?
Maybe it does, but I knew what I was getting into from the moment I agreed to help him. My family has pretty good connections with the Yashiro Commission. We work very closely with them. And whenever there's a national event of any sort, the other two commissions come to us too. As long as I'm polite and respectful and don't cause a fuss, they won't look to cause trouble for me either. And anyway, to your point about collaboration, you've been helping out too, right?
That's true. This was all a collaborative effort. Wait! Oh no!
Ah, so you're seasoned crooks already, eh? Don't know what I was worried about then. Anyway, thanks for everything, Koichi. And your fireworks are ready, so just go pick them up from my house whenever you want. While you're there, you can get my pops to settle the boat construction fees.
Oh, don't worry about paying anything. Third Sis would be sure to scold me if she found out I'd taken Mora from the Naganoharas.
Who's Third Sis?
Oh, let me explain this one. It's a story my pops told me. There used to be a thriving merchants guild in Inazuma. It got really prosperous. At one point, there were a dozen or so kids born around the same time to the families of the guild. They all grew up together, each of them learning their respective family's business. They were a tightly knit group of friends, but eventually, they all grew up and decided they each wanted to go into business themselves. It was inevitable that business would send them all to different corners of the world, and that they'd have far less opportunity to see each other in the future.
That's right. Just before we went our separate ways, the eldest of the group suggested that we should all go watch some fireworks together one last time.
They were all very ambitious types, and each had their own knack for doing business. One by one, they left, until Koichi was the only one of them remaining in Inazuma. After that, he hardly saw them. But whenever one of them did come back to visit, fireworks would always be involved.
Yeah, no matter how close you and your friends are, there's always gonna be some distance after being separated for a long time. But as soon as the fireworks lit up the sky, it'd instantly take us right back to our childhood, and we'd be chatting away like in the old days. To us, those memories are eternal.
Oh, so this is what you meant when you were talking about commemorating things.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's why I can't let people down when they're counting on me for their fireworks. Anyway, I need to go update Sakujiro. See you, Koichi. Thanks again for your help.
Yeah, I should get out of here too. I don't want to get caught red-handed.
The boat is ready and waiting. I'll mark the location for you on the map. Before you leave, I recommend that you pack some food and water. You can never be too prepared.
After how much effort it took to get back in, it's hard to convince myself to leave again. Especially when I'll be going up against the stormy ocean on a tiny little boat. My prospects don't look great.
Well, they won't look much better if you get caught by the Tenryo Commission. I'm afraid that sooner or later they are going to find you here. Time is starting to run out.
I'm sorry. I'll make sure to get out of here before they come. I promise I won't cause you and your family any more trouble.
I didn't mean it like that. If we ever ran into any problems, I'm sure I'd figure something out. But if the Tenryo Commission does catch up to you, then make a run for the boat.
Okay, I won't let them catch me. But... no, I guess this whole trip was a waste in the end.
Why did you want to come back to Inazuma anyway? Is there something you wanted to do?
I didn't used to like this place at all. That's why I left. But looking back on things now, I was really just running away from my responsibilities. Once I started to realize that, I got restless. I couldn't stop thinking about the people and the things I'd left behind. So forget it. What does it matter now? It's too late anyway. I originally wanted to make up for all my regrets, but instead, I found myself in the situation I'm in now.
What a pity.
Talk to us about it. Maybe we could...
If only there was no Sakoku decree, huh? Anyway, don't worry. We're not going to bother you about it. We'll keep trying to buy you as much time as possible until you reach your final decision. The Tenryo Commission. If only they weren't so overzealous, there might be a way. Oh, that's right! That elderly couple, old customers of ours, their son's in the Tenryo Commission, isn't he? Yeah, quite high up as well. That's it. I'll go talk to them. Maybe they can do something.
Are you sure they won't just report me instead?
Oh, don't worry about that. They're really nice people. I know them well. They won't cause us any issues. All right. You should get back indoors, Sakujiro. We'll be back in no time at all. Okay, let's go. Time waits for no one. Wait, hang on. What about the fireworks? All those materials? There's so many orders to finish. Pops? Pops? No, never mind. I know. I'll write him a note telling him to sort out the fireworks.
Come on in, dear. Come and take a seat. Are these two your friends?
Yes, they're travelers from afar. Outsiders have a very difficult time getting into Inazuma nowadays.
Indeed, these are unprecedented times. But seeing as they came all this way, we locals should give them a warm welcome.
Oh, before I forget, I brought the fireworks that you ordered.
Oh, thank you, dear. Your family is so good to us every year. First your father, and now you. I wonder if I'll still be around to see the next hair of Naganahara fireworks.
Of course you will. You're both in great health. Don't say things like that. It's bad luck.
We aren't as young as we once were, though. The body knows it. It used to be that I could spend all day working the land, carrying water back and forth. But now, even a moment of light work leaves me with all sorts of aches and pains. I wanted to do some weeding yesterday, but as soon as I bent down to get started, I suddenly felt that if I went any further, I wouldn't be able to get back up again.
No worries. Say no more. We'll handle it.
No, no, no. We can't be putting you to work when you're a guest in our home. I'll just go fetch the tea and some snacks, and then we'll continue our conversation.
It's fine. It's not like it's the first time I've helped you with chores. I just haven't had much time recently with the fireworks show coming up. But once that's out of the way, I'll be sure to come by more often.
It's no trouble, really. We don't mind helping.
Oh, you're such good kids. As for mine, he's all grown up now. Hasn't found anyone yet. And he doesn't visit very often. If you're quite sure it's no trouble, then I have some pickled radish here. Would you mind delivering it to Satoru on the other side of the village?
Sure, it won't take us a moment. The old folks aren't very mobile, so come on, let's help them out. We'll get rid of the weeds first, and then deliver the pickled radish. Hey, Satoru, how have you been? Keeping well?
Yeah, same as usual. Not much has changed. You're looking full of life, as always.
All thanks to the support of our loyal customers, the family business just keeps getting better and better. We sold some fireworks to Liyue a while back, and word is they were a real hit. So it looks like we'll be getting more business from over there in the future.
That must mean a lot more work for you, though. Are you sure you and Mr. Ryunosuke can manage? If it gets too much, don't forget, you can always ask me for help,
We should be fine. I think we can cope. Oh, yeah. This is some pickled radish from Mrs. Imatani.
Oh, wow, thank you so much. I never used to be a fan of pickled radish, would you believe? But then I tried some of Mrs. Imatani's homemade stuff and I couldn't get enough of it. It's a family staple now.
Speaking of your family, how's everyone doing?
They're doing well. We have the occasional heated argument, but I guess that's every family ever. Being close to family is better than never getting to see them, even if it does mean putting up with some conflict. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Imatani seem to have a great relationship, but still, they must get lonely with their child never visiting.
Huh, they didn't seem that way to me. I think they're just used to it. You make a good point, though. I should drop by more often in the future. That way, they won't get so bored.
Oh, I'm sure they'd love that, as would all of us in Konda Village. You're always welcome here.
Thank you.
Ah, young people are so handy.
Younger people have bundles of energy, and older people have a wealth of wisdom. Each have their strengths.
Speaking of youth, do you know what? It's been 50 years this year.
Oh, so it has. Goodness, how the time flies. You barely notice as the years go by, but then suddenly 50 years have passed.
50 years since what? Some important day?
Well, if you must know, it was 50 years ago, back in the days when this young lady was still trying to win me over, that...
Oh, stop trying to impress them. We both know you were the one who was hopelessly smitten and desperately trying to win my affection.
Well, maybe you're right. 50 years ago, I proposed to my wife at the Naganahara fireworks show. We've been together ever since. To tell the truth, I was still a little uncertain. I wasn't sure what I was doing when I walked into the Naganahara's shop and ordered my firework. Even as it was rising up into the sky, I still had no clue what I was going to say. But then it exploded, the sky lit up. I looked back at her and saw her eyes twinkling in the light of the fireworks. Before I knew what was happening, apparently, I'd already said it. And, well, she'd said yes.
50 years. In some ways, it's a long time. In others, it's no time at all. Really, it's just a number. But 50 years of being together? Now that is something worth commemorating.
I had no idea it was your 50th anniversary. If I'd known, I would have made some extra fancy fireworks just for you.
Oh, no, it's quite all right. We always set off the same firework every year. It wouldn't be the same without it. Seeing that firework go off takes us right back to those days. Even at this age, we still look back with not a single regret.
Ah, what a great relationship they have.
Enough about us, though. Yoimiya, aren't you busy with the fireworks show coming up? Was there something you needed to discuss?
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to talk about, but here goes.
Sakujiro. So he came back.
Huh? You know him?
He was our boy's best friend when they were young. They were inseparable. They grew up together, shared everything with each other, and went everywhere together. But one day, they had a terrible argument.
Sakujiro seemed to feel that Inazuma was too peaceful, and wanted to see what the outside world was like. But our Keisuke took after his father and mother. He felt that there was nothing wrong at all with being peaceful. You know what children are like. They get terribly worked up about these sorts of things. In the end, Sakujiro stormed off, and that was that.
I see.
Keisuke said nothing to me or my wife about the fight. We could sense that he was very hurt by it, but he didn't want to talk with us about how he was really feeling. Eventually, whether out of pent-up anger or for some other reason, he joined the Tenryou Commission. He rarely comes home anymore.
If it was anything else, I could talk to Keisuke, and I'm sure he'd be willing to help. But since it's Sakujiro, I don't feel there's any way we can get involved.
What a strange coincidence. Who'd have thought?
I understand now. When I asked Sakujiro why he came back, he just said because of past mistakes and wasn't willing to elaborate. Now I finally understand why he can't decide what to do.
Two best buddies in childhood. One grows up to join the Tenryou Commission, the other grows up to join the Tenryou Commission's most wanted list.
Well, no worries. If that's the case, then never mind. We can find some other way to help Sakujiro. There's no need to make things difficult for you. This sounds like something for Sakujiro and Keisuke to resolve between themselves.
Yes. It'd be so nice if they could go back to the way things were.
I think after all these years, they ought to let go of their grudges.
Yoimiya, something bad's happened. Some people from the Tenryou Commission came by.
Huh? Why? Do they know? Pops, are you alright? They didn't do anything to you, did they?
I told them the show was starting soon and the place was filled with fireworks, so they shouldn't go in because it's a fire hazard. But they didn't listen. It seemed like they knew Sakujiro was inside. Luckily, Sakujiro heard them coming in time and managed to escape through the window. The Tenryou Commission wasn't able to capture him.
Oh, this is bad news. I don't think Sakujiro had enough time to make his mind up. Pops, did you see where he went? Oh, the Tenryou Commission will definitely be chasing after him. Good point. Names. Reading names. Suddenly showing up like this, surely it must be Keisuke's doing. The Commission wouldn't normally cause this big of a fuss over a stowaway.
Sorry, my ears are no good. And I didn't get a good look at them either. If you're wondering which way they went, they left the city. I wish I'd caught their names. But I didn't hear a thing.
As it happens, I did. I was getting some ore from my friend's place and happened to bump into them on the way over. I think their leader's name was Keisuke, just like you said.
Just as I thought. Thanks. If Sakujiro still hasn't made up his mind, those two running into each other won't solve anything. And even worse, there'll be no coming back from it for Sakujiro. We can't let that happen. Come with me. Let's track them down.
Paimon, we are grateful for your assistance. Thank goodness you were able to come as soon as we contacted you. Who knows how we would have coped with all these commissions otherwise?
It was nothing. The last couple of days have been pretty busy, but it was all super easy stuff, like delivering and escorting goods. When we heard that you were short on people, we thought we were going to be in for another long and drawn-out adventure.
Being the seasoned adventurers that you are, it's true that you are suited to work of a much higher caliber than your recent assignments. However, this situation is unavoidable in Mondstadt at this time of year.
Huh? Why's that?
That's right. This is the ideal season for harvesting crops and fruits. And for the wine capital of Teyvat, it's also the all-important winemaking season. Farmers are anxious to sell off their fresh produce, and all the major wine merchants are seeking to purchase top-quality ingredients to make new product.
Ah, well, no wonder we keep hearing people talking about wine these days.
Huh? What do you mean? Seriously? Yes, I swear I'm not making this up. The acting Grand Master wants everyone to gather at headquarters in the main hall. Hurry! We need to leave right now or we'll be late! Hey, wait up!
Why do those two knights look so flustered?
Well, hello there. If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon. What a rare pleasure.
Kaya! Just the person we need! Why is everyone running off to the Knights of Favonia's headquarters all of a sudden?
Don't worry. This isn't one of those occasions where you need to come to everyone's rescue. All that's happened is that the Knights of Favonius have just received a letter from the Grand Master. Acting Grand Master Jean will be convening a meeting in the main hall shortly to go through it.
Well, that's a relief. Wait, hold on a second. What did you say again? The Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius? Isn't that Varka? The leader of that legendary expedition? So, what did Varka say in the letter? How's the expedition going? When are they getting back?
Oh, so interested in our Grand Master all of a sudden? Never knew you were such a gossip.
It's only normal, isn't it? That you'd be curious too if there was someone you'd heard loads about but never met. Even Master Jean says he's a living legend. Oh, pretty hard not to get hyped up after hearing that. Besides, the expedition has been going on for ages, and we still never heard a single thing about what they're up to.
The acting Grandmaster is very gracious in her appraisal. Varka brought quite a bit of trouble to those around him on the road to becoming a legend. I'll have to tell you about it sometime. Anyway, since this has piqued your interest, why don't you join me at headquarters, and we'll see what the letter says. We do miss our honorary knight, after all. It's been quite a long time since your last visit.
Sure! Let's go and see what it's all about. Bye, Catherine! See you soon!
All right. Take care now.
Hi, Yoimiya! Are the weapons to scare away the great Mujina yokai ready yet?
Oh, Mr. Ryunosuke is making them right now. You can go collect them from my house later.
Aren't you gonna play with us, Yoimiya?
I'm sorry. I have something important to do right now. I'll be back later on. But I'll bring you guys some candy next time. The extra sweet candy, the one you guys love.
Yay! We're gonna get candy! Woohoo! Candy! Whoa!
Also, I wanted to ask you guys something. Did you see a bunch of scary-looking men come by here at all?
Yep, we did. It looked like they were chasing someone.
Are they trying to catch a monster too?
No, don't worry. It's all just a big misunderstanding. Be good kids and stay out of trouble, alright? Stay in the city for now, and I'll come play with you after the fireworks start.
We will. We'll be on our best behavior, especially for you, Yoimiya.
Sorry, official business. I can't let you pass.
Sakujiro and Keisuke are up ahead, right? We need to talk to them about something.
Didn't you hear me? You're not getting past.
Ugh, what a nuisance! Well, you've only got yourself to blame!
Dare you impede the work of the Tenryou Commission? You will be punished for your actions! There is nowhere you can escape justice. Not even at the edges of the world!
Huh, look at that! The one with the loudest mouth had the fastest feet. We can't waste any more time on these guys. Let's push on. They should be just ahead.
Your skills with the sword have stagnated, Sakujiro. You should have known that you stood no chance against me in a duel.
I never imagined I'd fall into your hands. If this is to be my fate, I accept it. I have nothing else to say.
But your return says that you finally came around to my point of view.
Whatever you say.
You will return with me to the Tenryou Commission to await your sentencing. The one who made this boat will also be punished.
Wait! It doesn't have to end like this! Don't you have anything else to say to one another?
Hey, I know you. You're Naganahara's girl, who makes the fireworks. I know you like to get involved in other people's business, but stay out of this. It does not concern you.
It's okay, Yoimiya. The past is the past.
Then why did you risk life and limb to get yourself back into Inazuma? And why were you so reluctant to leave after you got here? I'll tell you why. This is why. This is the chance you've been waiting for. To talk everything through.
I have nothing to say to him. He's a criminal. I work for the Tenryou Commission. There is never any room for discussion. Out of respect for the friendship we once had, I gave him a chance to fight for his freedom. But his skills with the sword are as disappointing now as they ever were.
What are you talking about? And just who do you think you're kidding? You left all your subordinates back there to guard the road, making sure no one else followed you here. Seems to me like you were hoping for a chance to talk. I can see it in your faces. You both have so much to say. And you're just gonna choose to keep it all inside?
Tuh. Don't flatter yourself. What would you know?
Yoimiya, leave it. It was just my wishful thinking.
No! I won't leave it! I will not stand by and watch when you haven't even done anything! Keisuke, you seem to like settling things with a duel, so let's do it your way. I challenge you to a duel. If I win, then you need to say everything that's in your heart. No more running from your feelings. And the same goes for you, Sakujiro. If I win, you will tell Keisuke exactly why you came back, no matter what the consequences are. You have to tell him everything. If you don't say anything now, you may never have another chance.
And if you lose?
Then I'll admit to collaborating with Sakujiro and accept the Tenryou Commission's punishment.
Yoimiya. I accept. Let's settle this with a duel.
Sir, they are too strong. We need more men.
Stand down.
What?
I thought I told you to stay away. Now stand down.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Young lady, you are just as obstinate as Sakujiro was back then. Why were you so convinced that we had things to say to each other?
Because Sakujiro may not have told me about you when he came back, but he did order a firework from me. Then your parents told me about what happened between you when you were younger. Once I'd heard the story, I realized that the firework meant something special to you both. And that's why I simply refuse to believe that you have nothing to say to each other. Nobody sets off a firework to feel lonely, do they?
The reason I came back is that I felt lost. It wasn't that I'd changed my mind, I just felt that what I'd done in the past was to try to escape from reality. I saw the freedom of Mondstadt, the contracts of Liyue, the wisdom of Sumeru, and the justice of Fontaine. It all left a deep impression on me. I was glad that I'd left Inazuma, but then I happened to hear about the Sakoku decree. I was an escapee, and I was proud of that. What I should have tried to do is take the good things from the outside world and bring them back home.
So that's why you came back? Out of your naive hope of changing the way things are here?
No, I let go of all those delusions of grandeur. I just felt that I never should have run away like that. After all, you never ran away.
Huh?
I don't know about you, but life hasn't been easy for me. But I just had to come back and visit. It was like fate was calling me, and I couldn't ignore it any longer.
Life isn't easy for anyone. I truly worship the Raiden Shogun. Her ideas were my personal creed, and I desired nothing more than to see her will done. But now, my role is to punish violators of the Sakoku decree and confiscate people's visions. It's not what I signed up for when I joined the Tenryou Commission. I do wonder, am I really doing the right thing? The boat is yours.
Huh?
I couldn't make you stay in Inazuma, but that doesn't mean I want to keep you here by force.
What will you say to the higher-ups?
Don't worry about that. I'll handle it. If you want to come back, I hear the process of returning to Inazuma from the outside world is long and complicated, but it can be done. I will lend you my help, but until then, you'll have to wait. And don't kick the bucket on the way out.
Don't worry, Keisuke. I won't. Any chance we can watch the fireworks together?
Maybe next time. I'll be demoted for sure. It's not like me to give in to childish sentiment like this. I can't explain why I went through with it. It's the one that Sakujiro planned on using for his escape. I asked Yoshitaka and the others to transport it here, citing the temporary contraband storage clause. Forcing Sakujiro to this spot was also something I had planned all along. It's just like you said, Yoimiya. Even though I hadn't fully made up my mind, my actions betrayed my intent.
But I think you did the right thing. And look, now you've managed to resolve the grievance in your heart by talking about it.
I understand now. Thank you. I didn't know you were quite so perceptive. You saw right into what I was thinking.
That's only because I know your parents so well. They're both really nice people, so I didn't think the apple would fall too far from the tree.
I had heard there was a new Naganohara running things these days. Little loud and reckless, maybe, but you live up to the family name. By the way, Naganohara fireworks can reproduce the firework that the two of us set off back then, right? Would you be able to make one for me?
Sorry, no can do. Without the slipper reference, I can't make the same one again. And I'm afraid Sakajiro is the one with the slip.
Ah, I see. Never mind then.
Don't get too down just yet, though. I mentioned that Sakujiro ordered a firework from me, didn't I? I can't make another one, but I'm guessing Sakujiro probably won't be needing his anymore. It'd be a shame for it to go to waste, so I'll make an exception and let you set it off instead.
Thank you very much.
No worries. And don't miss out on the start of the fireworks show.
Yoimiya! The way you took command of that whole situation was amazing!
What can I say? I like to talk. I'm a strong believer in the power of words. If you're not willing to communicate, then the problem just sits there. If you just keep staring at it without doing anything, eventually you'll watch every last opportunity to resolve it slip away before your eyes. Sakujiro and Keisuke can't turn back the clock in their relationship, but that's no reason to live with remorse. Anyway, follow me. I'll bring you to the perfect place to watch the fireworks. My pops will set off the firework that I wanted to give to you.
Huh? Oh. Oh, it's... Keisuke.
So, Yoimiya, these fireworks, what do they mean to you? Yoimiya? Shh. Huh? Oh.
Oh, that was amazing. It was so beautiful I could weep. I didn't actually cry though, right? I just feel a bit misty-eyed. Oh, remember that big one that went up first? The gold one? That's the one I had Pops make for you.
Oh, Paimon saw it! It was one of the best ones! They won't forget that anytime soon!
That's what I wanted to hear. I was hoping it would leave a deep impression on you guys. No matter where your journey takes you, and no matter what hardships might lie ahead, I hope you'll always be able to look back fondly on the fireworks you saw tonight. I believe that as time goes by, this firework will only grow brighter and more beautiful in your heart. Oh, and also, you're technically my customers now. Here, this is your paper slip. If you ever want to see that golden firework again, just come and see me.
You know, Yoimiya, you seemed to turn into a completely different person during the fireworks. You were so quiet, and it was like you couldn't hear anything at all.
Oh, I can hear you. I just have a habit of being silent while I'm watching fireworks. Quietly watching something you made with your own hands rise into the sky feels like a sacred ceremony to me. You asked me what fireworks mean to me, right?
Yep. Well, for Koichi, who built the boat for us, and his friend, Third Sis, fireworks commemorate friendship. For Keisuke's parents, they commemorate marriage. And for Keisuke and Sakajiro, they were commemorating... Oh yeah, right, beliefs!
As for me, to be honest, even though I've thought about it countless times before, I still haven't found an answer.
Seriously? Huh. Paimon was expecting something deep and philosophical.
Well, no one's ever asked me this before, so I've never really settled on an answer. It was by chance that I happened to be born into the Naganohara family, so it was by chance that I ended up learning this craft from my pops. It's also by chance that I've met so many people, learned so many things, and discovered that people associate watching fireworks with the things that are most precious to them. Fireworks that disappear in a flash of light are probably the furthest thing away from the eternity that our shogun desires. But people's feelings don't just disappear, and it's those feelings that give fireworks their purpose. If nobody wanted to watch fireworks, then they wouldn't exist. Also, consider this. You have to have the Naganoharas because so many people are emotionally invested in the existence of fireworks. If we didn't exist, their wishes would go unfulfilled, wouldn't they? You know, I don't really think about complicated things like this very often. But I'm proud that I was born into the Naganohara family and have the chance to make so many pretty fireworks.